Oh my gosh, it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning, but it can't be helped. So much is happening, and so let's get started right away. We have May 8th, 2026 today, and it's 2,104 days since Richard was forcibly removed from his barracks room because he was a whistleblower. He was a whistleblower in the cartel trafficking activity there on the borderland between El Paso and Juarez. And also, he was a witness whistleblower for the Walmart mass shooting case when it comes to how the military was involved in that, how Fort Bliss military was involved in the Walmart mass shooting case. He was taken down to the arms room there on Fort Bliss. His life was taken from him. His body was stolen off of Fort Bliss because this was an illegal operation, an unauthorized operation to silence him. They took his life and they took his body, stole it, and trafficked it to Juarez, Mexico for disposal. Um, Pretty sophisticated stuff through this whole thing. And we have evidence that indicates that there was VA fraud in this against with Richard's case, and also organ harvesting. So this is really, uh, just organized criminal, terroristic organization. Okay. Um, Lots going on, and I want to go through it. So, um, little bit emotional because the first thing that I have to tell you is that the officer, and I had to go back and I had to go and look at the videos today of Richard. And so it was just a little emotional because he was targeted by a El Paso Police Department officer, um, Officer Carzoli, Miguel Carzoli. And Miguel Carzoli is a direct relative of Bernadette Medrano and Sam Medrano, the judge in the Walmart mass shooting case. So you can imagine how we felt finding that out um, because Richard was reporting of the military's activities when it comes to the Walmart mass shooting. And they weren't good, y'all. So he was, and of course, just weeks before Richard lost his life, um, Glennon Oakley Jr. lost his life. And that's very important for people to understand that he was also another witness to in the Walmart mass shooting, and he was found not alive in his barracks room there on Fort Bliss in April 8th of 2020. And so, um, there has been a lot of manipulation and violence because of this Walmart mass shooting case. Of course, the Walmart mass shooting itself was bloody and violent, but because of the case itself, there has been a lot of violence, and that has gone unanswered. And we have absolutely, I don't think that there is too many others. There might be some, maybe some that were perpetrating the event, but I don't think there's too many other families out there that know more about the Walmart mass shooting case than we do. We have just documented everything that we know about the Walmart mass shooting case because we know that the same people that targeted our son is responsible for his murder and the cover up and everything that goes uh, along with that, was also involved in the Walmart mass shooting and connected to it, absolutely connected to it. And so that's why we know that Richard and of course, lots of evidence that he was a whistleblower, not only with the criminal trafficking and the child sexual exploitation, with the CPS making multiple reports to CPS, but also about the Walmart mass shooting. This orchestrated it, and we believe the evidence clearly confirms that it was because of the investigations and the audits, because of Richard's uh, trafficking complaints that was going on during an election. You have to remember Beto O'Rourke was trying to become president at the time. He was the El Paso cartel's candidate. They were fully backing him up. I mean, giving him loads of money, and they wanted him to be the president of the United States. Why? To control the cases, to cover up for their criminal activity there at the border, and with in alliance with what was going on, and Juarez with this spy mini Pentagon um, surveillance tower, right? Because it was really giving cartel, they were really combining all the cartel. The evidence really shows El Paso cartel was making alliances with the CJNG cartel, the Juarez cartel, the Sinaloa Chapitas arm of the cartel. They were, in violent negotiations with, of course, El Mayo and the Maices arm of the Sinaloa cartel. Um, so they and other cartels too. They were absolutely combining everything, getting power over Mexico, and getting power over the United States, with having a mini Pentagon right there, just a stone throws away from the border, that pointed directly at Fort Bliss. And let's even talk about Fort Huachuca. Let's talk about that whole the area and the powerful AI surveillance, and we know for a fact, because it's already been reported, that Chihuahua had used the Pegasus spy program or software. They already had been using it, deploying the Pegasus as spyware, um, which is a very sophisticated Israeli software that can just tap into any conversation on the phone. And it does even more than that. And so, because they were using it there, is that why they were building this AI surveillance? Because you can listen to a lot of phone calls, right? You can listen all day long, all night long, and the next day and the next night. But how are you going to organize it and everything? And that's where the water of AI comes in, right? The water organizes everything. The AI organizes all of those conversations and intersects. Can you imagine if you're listening to the generals on Fort Bliss? Can you imagine if you're listening to business deals going on, contracts going on? Can you imagine if you're listening to foreign conversations, government conversations, whatever. You can be very, very powerful. This is such a huge national security threat to not only the United States, because it's pointing right towards Fort Bliss, but also to Mexico. And those are huge players for the whole Central America area. Can you imagine if Mexico had that kind of cartel power, what it would do to, oh my God, I just can't even imagine. I just can't even imagine. And who was in alliance? We know that Maduro was in alliance with this cartel, with the fuel theft. Um, this is a really big deal, y'all. I can't even explain to you that here we are, we just want our son's remains. We want accountability. And God has bigger plans. He has those plans, that we get our son's remains, that we get accountability. But he wants all this other stuff exposed because every day we get new information that is just jaw dropping, and not just one thing. I mean, look, I haven't even gotten to the point where the Maisas, which is the El Mayo arm of the Sinaloa cartel, are coming in highly weaponized to take over the areas that CJNG has just lost, because CJNG cartel, which is a flesh peddling cartel, which includes the organ harvesting, which includes targeting pregnant women to rip their babies out of them, to rip their organs out of them, to dispose of. It's just so, so evil. And that's why I can't monetize, because if I monetize, then I have to watch everything I say. Um, and I still have to watch what I say, but that's already been documented through La Diabla and selling those babies on the black market, targeting the homosexual community in the United States on the black market for these babies that have been ripped out of these targeted women that were pregnant, that were targeted to work, and just it is just absolutely evil, so evil. Um, and for the Maisas to come in now to that area where CJNG has lost their power, uh, and now they're filling the gap. They're filling the gap. Um, so there's not an end to it this way. There's not an end to it this way. Okay. They're absolutely this. Matter of fact, it really does make you understand why. And Laura, thank you so much. And I'm going to get to you as soon as I can. Um, the It really explains why the Mexican president, President Scheinbaum, is being so tough right now. This is something so abnormal for her to really be tough. Um, like all of a sudden, really tough coming out. I think all the transparency, and of course, she knows much more. Um, but the threat to the country, and that's why she's really focused on the sovereignty of the country, and the betrayal of the country, because this was not for empowering Mexico. This was for empowering the cartel. And you have to realize that the evidence that we have absolutely confirms that the cartel is not Mexicans, right? Yes, the Mexicans are being exploited because of the economy and everything, and of course, evil people that want to join the cartel. Um, but and I didn't even post on this yet either, and I needed to post on it before I got on, and I forgot to do it. But they just got another CJNG leader. Um, what is his name? Let me find it, because let me see. It was in my notes here to oh, yes, here it is. El Cabo. El Cabo has been arrested. They got him. And I have it. Yeah, there he's in detention now. He was like the next. So they got the gardener, they got El Mencho, they got the gardener. Now they got El Cabo. The authorities are after CJNG. Okay, they got La Diabla. So La Diabla. Then of course Mencho. They got and there was a lot. There was a lot in between. Don't forget, there's over 100 that have been extradited to the United States, but that doesn't include all of the others that have either been arrested or killed. So many have been killed. And I would have to put together a whole chart. Matter of fact, I probably will do that to illustrate what has been going on. It's just jaw dropping. And now you have the maíz is coming in, which, and I hope I'm saying all the words right, but that is El Mayo's really loyal cartel members that have regrouped and have said, look, we're going to take advantage of the weakness of the CJNG and we're going to go in there and take over their territory. So that has been happening. So I've sound like I'm all over the place because there's so much breaking news. Mauro Campos is in big trouble. She may get 46 years. Now, just being able to say that, because I've called for Leilani Hart to be arrested over and over and over again, and they don't arrest her, and there's no reason not to arrest her. I mean, everything is there to arrest her. They have more than enough to arrest her. And so I absolutely understand that we have cartel alliances within our justice and law enforcement agencies. And of course, Connell Wetton, who leaked our son's identity to the cartel. And he's an assistant special agent in charge in the El Paso FBI office. So, we're fully aware of the corruption, right? Of the major corruption, which I just reported on too, that the guy doing the audit, right, for this building was caught covering up the fraud, waste, and abuse. Where is the money? There's missing money. The money has been redirected for this mini Pentagon that is this AI surveillance tower that sits right in the place where they were deploying the Pegasus spyware. Wow, wow, and it points right to Fort Bliss. So this is breaking news on every level. And let me go through my post to make sure, because I forgot to post about El Cabo, and I have it right here in my news, um, in my notes to do it. But uh, uh, it's just amazing the amount of news that we are pouring out, and I go on to news and uh, do y'all feel the same way that we do? That we, just this little family here, we're turning into be a really big family, aren't we? Um, is delivering more news than so many other mainstream media in the United States. I mean, we're having to really go to Mexican media, and Mexican media is very controlled. So can you imagine? And I reported on that too, how how the media is so controlled. And of course, American media is controlled too. That's very clear. Thank God for social media, right? But we're delivering so much news. It's just incredible. And one of those stories about the media, oh my gosh, there was just so much today. And I hope I don't confuse you. Maybe I should just go calm down, calm down, Pat. I should just calm down and just go through these stories that I posted. Um, so let me put the display on. Okay, so this is really interesting. This is a picture. This is a picture of the man that it has a contract to build the tower, um, the mini Pentagon, right? And please forgive me, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, so wow, and I wish I could come on earlier so everybody is fresh and can understand the importance of all of this. So he is an Israeli. This is another thing that's so weird. And as I've said for so long, I haven't really seen a lot of Israeli interjection in this case at all. Really, I haven't. It's been mostly the Mormon faction. I mean, really, very, very heavy the Mormon faction. And I know that the Mormon faction has very close ties with Israeli players. I do understand that. Okay. Um, uh, but this is the first time that this is a big player in all of this. And he's an Israeli Mexican that got the contract, no bid contract, okay? A no bid contract, really? For a $240 million building and and yeah, and they give it to this um construction or developer or builder or whatever uh who has a reputation for going over budget and a lot of delays. He is not a President Trump, under budget and ahead of schedule. No, he's quite the opposite. He's quite the opposite, and he gets this no bid contract, and we know that the Pegasus is Israeli software. It's just I don't know if they're connected, but I know that Chihuahua has deployed it, and that the men with this builder is people that could deploy it. He was the prosecutor, you know. He could absolutely deploy it, and he's like, this guy here is Mr. Midas, Mr. Midas Touch. I guess he's the one that gets all the funding to give to the builder. So these three, this is a very important picture here. So I wanted to post that up for everyone to see because something is not right. Something is not right. And when you look at this building and you look at um, Juarez, you can tell it just is different. It just doesn't fit. It just doesn't fit. Something is up with this. So, yeah, so let's uh, quickly go through this. Oh yeah, I forgot about this news too. Oh my gosh. And I didn't forget, it's just, it's 2 o'clock, and um so this is a bombshell. This is talking about Bonilla. Marco Bonilla, he's the mayor of the city of Chihuahua, and he is running to be the governor of Chihuahua, Mexico. And there is scandal around him now, which means that Maru's pick for her succession uh, to succeed her, right, is might have gotten into a bit of trouble where it's not possible at all. So it doesn't look like Bonilla is looking too good to be the governor of Chihuahua, which is a good thing because if he is her pick, then that means he may very well be Chapitos Sinaloa. Okay. And yeah, so this is big news. So I put that up. just for people to know. And it's so important when it comes to Richard's case and everything that we're doing, all of these connections and all of this corruption and all of these cartel connections. It is just something that we have to do for Richard's case to move forward to get his remains. These are the very vicious negotiations for the repatriation of our son's remains and to get accountability. So here is the story of the Maisas, and I put up, I dug up some older maps that I've made, and so this is where they're going into. The Maisas are going into this area, and remember, El Mencho was here in Jalisco, and that's where he was raided and where he was killed. And so now the Maisas are coming down here and taking over this territory. So I wanted to put that up, and I put up quite a few maps just for people to see and to understand how the dots connect with all of that. So I hope that helps. And I hope you share these super important, uh, uh, posts that we put up. It's just amazing. This is another President Trump. Okay, so I put two up because two different stories gave two different types of information on this that I thought was very, very important. And that is that the President Trump is taking the very first steps in and it indicates, and he's indicated in many different ways before, but it indicates that now is the time where he is making the steps to hold the people accountable in our son's case. So this is huge. This is huge because you can't just ride in there like, hey, I'm President Trump. You think that he acts that way, but he really doesn't. He does everything step by step legally. And you can tell what he has been doing since he got into office. Day number one, the designation of the cartels as terroristic organizations. And he's just got step by step, getting the fuel, trying to stabilize the economy as well as he could, with the fuel as well as he could, but try to dismantle this cartel. Really, it's the Jeffrey Epstein pipeline in alliance with the cartel because of the oil and gas element in all of this. That's huge. Um, so to try to stabilize the economy as well as he could, which is not perfect, right? Um, because you're dealing with a fuel war, right? You're dealing with people that are so used to stealing fuel, and creating an economy that's was geared on criminal trafficking. And so here he is going after the criminal trafficking, which is a huge, huge economy, right? So just, you're talking about billions of dollars. And those cartel people, you can say, well, I'm not cartel. But wait a minute, but they could come into your restaurant. They could come and buy your cars. They could come and buy into your shops, into so this money was a huge part of the economy, and to suck it dry would hurt a lot of innocent people. So President Trump has made steps to try to um, do this as quickly as he could, but without so much pain, because there's going to be pain with this. I mean, this was a huge criminal pipeline, a huge criminal trafficking pipeline, huge, and so big that they could put up a mini Pentagon, right? A mini Pentagon. Who paid for that mini Pentagon? And of course, we know that it led right over there to the Strait of Hormuz, to Iran, and Iran is a gateway to China, right? And we know that Iran is absolutely infiltrated with the Chinese. And, the news was that they accidentally hit a Chinese ship, one of their allies. So all of this is getting so interesting because it's connecting, and it connects right back to El Paso, y'all, and to El Paso cartel, which is in alliance with the Maru Campos, uh, Chihuahua governor administration. It's very clear that this was a group not for America or not for Mexico. This was a criminal group that was really growing and taking over that whole border area. Okay, and both countries. This is a national security threat of both countries trying to dismantle, take over, whatever you want to call it, infiltrate, whatever you want to call it. I believe to take over. That's why they wanted Beto O'Rourke to be president. That's why they had Veronica Escobar be the co-chair for Kamala Harris and President and Joe Biden, right? So it was just very clear that things all led to El Paso. So, what is happening here? Because of what is going on, President Trump felt it was the right time now to review all of the Mexican consulates that are on American soil. So, these are the first steps. This is step one, a very important step to being able to get accountability to poison ponds part two kind of accountability, right? These are officials in agencies and institutions, and so this is just a huge step for President Trump, and already the comments indicate that people know that this is a huge step towards accountability. So what is this one? Oh yeah, so this was the second one, and I said, but what about this tower? If you're going to review the consulate, the embassies, the Mexican embassies in the United States, is that the first step towards uh, investigating what's going on here at this spy tower, this AI surveillance mini Pentagon. That is, when you look at the map, it is right there on the border, right there on the border, and it's pointing right towards Fort Bliss, a stone throw away. Okay, yes, and I did mention this briefly already. So Bernadette Medrano works in the clerk's office that decides on which judges get which cases. Oh, that's so sweet, isn't it? Because then she could just spin the wheel and get Medrano for her husband for the Walmart case. You know, and he wasn't originally on the Walmart case, okay? He wasn't originally on the Walmart case. So, um, yeah, something uh, the manipulation is clear. They manipulated. And I'm not at liberty to say more except for let's go to the next or go to one that I just put up. Didn't I just put it up? Maybe I need a refresh. Because this goes with it, right? Oh, this one. Oh my goodness gracious, y'all. Count them. Count these little, count these, count them. There's only 22. 23 died. And then this is the Patrick Crucius. This is the Patrick Crucius case. And I think they lied to the public because they dismissed the murder charges, right? They got this is assault with a deadly weapon. What the heck? What the heck? That's not murder. And there's only 22 of them. Something is absolutely crazy. Why did the murder, capital murder, get dismissed? And then they come with assault with a deadly weapon. Well, I know this case really good, and I can tell you because Patrick Crucius, um, oh, he admitted to one or two, and then even that was like doubtful because he was blind and he was. He, I don't even think that they would give him a loaded weapon because he was autistic. He's autistic, and he was supposed to die. He was supposed to be the patsy, and all the videos show him just dangling the gun. He was never aiming or anything. It's and then clearly it was staged because Alexander Gerhard Hofmann had been already executed and was down on the ground before Patrick Crucius even came into the building. So, and then where were all the bodies? You're talking about 23 bodies. Where are they? Because in the videos that we have, it doesn't show that at all. And we know through JT, so that's Juan Torres, who was the lead DPS officer on the case, that it was a staged crime scene. So now we have them lying to us because I don't know any other explanation for this. It is absolutely crazy. And you can look at 22. So we, have looked at the case we know it back and forth. And we remember that day, they said that one of the shooters was shot dead. And so we're wondering if that's why there's not 23 counts and only 22 counts because we've only counted 22 counts here, not 23 counts. So who's the 23rd person? So, there's so many irregularities with this case that tell a different story than what we were told. And to have Medrano, to have them be connected with the very police officer that targeted Richard, right? That targeted him, is just, Sam Medrano is really the most corrupt judge in El Paso history. Really, I believe that. I believe that. Um, so of course I talked about that already. Talked about that already. Talked about that, and of course, the 53 Mexican consulates that are around the United States on American soil that are going to be reviewed now. And now, oh yeah, we have Cesar Hargi fleeing to El Paso. We had Arliano Caron flee to El Paso. We have Carlos Manuel Salas. He lives in El Paso because part of the deal, part of the alliances that they were making was to give the cartel and to give people that are involved in this group access to American banks, American property, driver's license, insurance, everything, cars, everything over in the United States. And so, I don't know where Cesar Duarte's ranch is or house or whatever. He had a lot, I think 20. And then here's Cesar Hargi. Yeah, he has a place to stay. Apparently, he has a place to stay because that's where he went. And he owes a lot of favors to the cartel, and he didn't deliver it. And so he went to El Paso. El Paso's a little safer. Okay, and this is the media. Guess who's number one by far? El Diario. El Diario. Oswaldo Barunda. I mean, does that sound familiar with Sylvia Barunda Firth? El Paso Community Foundation. Uh, you know, so these people are all connected to, of course, with the El Paso cartel. And I hope you share that. So, yeah, um, this was a really wild day, and I didn't even cover all of it. But because I forgot to put up about El Cabo. And El Cabo is so important because that's another CJNG leader that was arrested. Um, so I hope that you share, and let me read Laura's comments here. Thank you so much for coming on. El Paso, Texas cartel involves U.S. Army Fort Bliss. 100%. There's not a doubt in my mind. Um, Thank you so much. Yes. You lost your one by the most gruesome way. Yes. Thank you. I have a right to be. They haven't allowed me to be emotional, right? Because I've had to stay very focused because if I gave in to emotion, the anger, you'd get really angry and all of this. Ugh. So just control the emotions and stay very, very focused so you can get accountability. You have to be very, just really focused and learn a lot, being willing to learn a lot. Um, and never give up, no matter what happens, right? Thank you. Glennon Oakley Jr., yeah. Vanessa Guillen along with Soul. Yeah, absolutely. I believe that Vanessa Guillen was onto something. And I don't think her case was ever rightfully solved. I really don't. That's my opinion. But I think, since a lot, I don't want to speak for her mother, but because her mother really made some comments that she really believed that this went higher up on Vanessa. Uh, Pegasus has been used for decades. Oh, I wonder if they were listening to me while I was there. Oh, wow. Because I was definitely surveilled. We were definitely surveilled while we were there and all kinds of asymmetric warfare tactics. Um, yeah, exactly. Um, I'm just reading through here. Oh, thank you for the tip. I will absolutely look for the tip. And yeah, thank you so much. You can see it straight through Yarborough, by the way. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's a big tower, 20-story, and it has a helipad on top, right? A helicopter pad on top. Yeah. So, who's landing on there, right? I know someone, I think Rick Francis has a helicopter. I wonder if he goes and visits it. I wonder if he landed on it yet. I don't know. Um, but yeah, this is absolutely um, all coming out. And I just want to thank you all so much. And uh, the big thing is to share. That is really all we ask. And so thank you so much. And join, subscribe, or however, follow um, this to get the numbers up. Right now, the numbers matter. For years, we were just investigating. Now, the numbers matter because we want to drive for accountability. And so, to get accountability, it takes the people. So, and we know that our government is ruled by the people, for the people, of the people. And truly it is. That's why they spend so much time and effort on controlling the vote, right? So, they want your vote, and we would like you to share our information. So thank you so much. God bless you, and I will be back